Hello everyone and welcome to Fleet's Sunday Streaming. Yes, we are back. We're back with Hoi 4 once again. Yes, we are indeed back with Hoi for, well, given how rapidly things are changing, and obviously we've had the update now, we've had the new DLC be released, so it's basically gonna be how long until the mods update and we can't do this save anymore, if you want the long and short of it. Basically, I just wanted to start a little bit early because I might be getting a visitor. Oh, I see. I don't know if this works, we shall see. I don't know how this is gonna work. Right, okay. Let's see how this works. I don't know what's going to happen here, but
Shared chat has started.
I don't know how this works, but I suppose we'll give it a crack. I don't quite understand how this whole works. I think my stream is also still going. Yes, it appears to be. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know how.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Basically, this is for if we're ever playing a game together, we can be streaming together. So if we were playing Space Marine 2 or Railroad or something like that together, we could both be streaming what we're doing and talking away, and as a shared chat.
Ah, very
and
good.
If one of us logs off, the chat just seamlessly combines with the other.
Well, that's actually really quite good. It's a good thing to keep in future.
That's the theory. That's the theory. I have no idea if it'll work in reality like that, but that is the theory.
I see. I don't really know, to be honest with you. Well, bear in mind, Paul, this is a setting on a system where we've not actually ever done it, so I do not have my audio settings tweaked at all. So this is me coming through completely unfiltered. So I shall have to very quickly sort that out. Oh, good Lord. There we go. Hang on, let me just fix that.
How's it going?
So
how you doing?
There, I think I've got my yeah, I've got everything down to the point where I think I should be level with Dr. Clark now. Yeah, everything's going fine. Normal Sunday as usual.
Both of us can. The point is that us also is we've shared the chat, so both of us can see the same chat and chat away, the different people chatting away and watching on screen. So people don't have to choose. Also, the other good thing is if you have a lot of subscribers who overlap,
as we do,
they don't have to choose to be. They can choose. They don't have to choose between us. They can share it.
Yeah. How does cheering and gifting work though? Do you have to be in one? Like, how does that work? Because if the chats are shared,
whichever one you do it in is the one that gets it.
Right. Fair enough. I earned 55 quid last month on Twitch, so that was actually quite good.
I'm not that far ahead of you, but I make about 120. I usually get, so usually it buys me a book a month.
Yeah, whereas that'll top off some money I'm earning from other things, which is very, very good. But yeah, so here we are. This may be the last stream of this particular scenario, given the fact that well, how do I put this gently? With the update being in place and mod makers rapidly working on their updates, this may be the last time that we actually get to stream this particular save, because everything will probably update. But we're very close to success. North Africa is being won fairly rapidly for the Empire. The Liberians the French are fighting their disastrous North African campaign against Liberia. They've been fighting that one for good long years now. Unfortunately, there were some federal losses in the Bay of Biscay. Some of the older cruisers inherited from the Australians were lost to a force of French ships. Although in return, Strasbourg got clobbered by HMS Endeavour, one of the 18-inch armed battleships that the RN built, the Temeraires. We've got the Jellicoe class guided missile battleships on the slips, along with a bunch of missile cruisers, the Southampton class, and a bunch of Royalist class 6-inch cruisers to take on a dual purpose escort role. We've got a massive build out of ships on the go now. I can't remember if I had commissioned. Did I end up commissioning some Glory class carriers? I cannot remember. I did, yes, I commissioned 5 Glories. And I needed to work on their successor, I believe. Because I was going to create
I'm going to interrupt you a second, but I'm going to say I've just thought of something very cool we could do with this.
Mm-hmm.
If we got Foxo involved as well, and Garius and Runon,
Mm-hmm.
we could possibly we could do this with a combined chat and us talking away for Hoi 4 game.
Oh, we absolutely could. We absolutely
And
could.
if that works, then that's a combined chat, which is also quite fun and allows everyone to talk to each other in the chat, and it makes it one large. It turns the Twitch community of Shipshape into one large community.
Mm-hmm.
On the chat, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Imagine all those people though suddenly going, "Who are these people?"
Yeah, that's
we
gonna
can hear them talking away.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the advantage is you don't have to have Discord running as well now.
Yeah, that is a very good advantage. It massively reduces the strain.
That's one less system you have to worry about.
Yep. Well,
you've seen combined chat up to 3 people.
Oh, of course.
Well, we'll see if we can combine up to more. It says it can do up to 12.
Well, that would be interesting.
It says it can do it up to 12.
Well, that would be interesting if that happens.
We'd have to get Drac to actually run his Twitch account.
Why are the Brazilian... Wait, is there a South American angle to this that I've missed? No, Brazil's not in the war. Did they send volunteers to the... Yeah, they did. They said the Brazilians sent volunteers to the French. Well, that's annoying. Fine, they have M3 Lees and M4 Shermans or equivalents to them. No match for the Universal Tank Mark II's Charioteers or the Infantry Tank Mark IV Carnarvons.
Oh, okay. I suppose.
So we've had the war's been a little bit... Well, the war with France has basically only been going for a couple of months, I think. And I basically need to consider pushing as far as... Well, I need to get ashore. The war started with an attempted nuclear alpha strike on various French cities. Only some of the strikes went through, but Paris was unfortunately unable to be destroyed.
So what are you playing today?
Hoi 4. That's the same game I've been streaming for the past few months.
Yeah, good. And it started with a nuclear alpha strike?
Yeah, the war with France last week, towards the end of the stream, started with a 5 atom bomb strike on various channel ports to clear the way for an invasion. Along with an attempt to bomb Paris. The channel port strikes were a success, but the attempted hit on Paris didn't actually go through, sadly.
Okay. For me, the Italians have just sent their last battleship. It's got 9 20-inch guns. The Monton de Oro.
Little bit overbuilt, it sounds like.
Come and fight. It weighs in at 76,000 tons, and it's got 9 20-inch guns, 12 8-inch guns, 2 7-inch guns, 12... Well, hang on, no. 12 times 4. So 48 3-inch guns and 36 1.9-inch guns to come fight me.
That's definitely something they can do if they want to. It's brave of them,
well,
but...
They can do. But the thing is, they've picked a fight with a group which has, admittedly a 16-year-old battleship, which has 9 18-inch guns and 18 6-inch guns. But it's also backed up by a battle cruiser which has 9 16.5-inch guns and 12 6-inch guns, and 2 destroyers, which both have quintuple torpedo launchers.
Good lord.
It's got a top speed of 25 knots, their battleship, and my slowest ship is 28 knots.
Oh
This
dear.
is not a.
Oh
This is.
dear.
Yes, you've got 20-inch guns, but that just.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of problems here with the strategy that they've come up with.
Yes. How about yours? What strategies did they come up with for you?
The second siege of Gibraltar is ongoing. They've caught me with their pants down there. I was rotating a division through Gibraltar, but unfortunately the normal division in Gibraltar is elsewhere. But I have deployed additional air power, and the air power just turned the tide of the Battle of Gibraltar, and it's now swung back entirely in my favour.
Okay.
If Gibraltar falls, I mean, I've got Suez. We can take it back later. It's not a problem. It's an inconvenience, but nothing more than that.
Yeah.
Like, minor setbacks don't lose countries' wars. Especially not in this case, where I basically hold all of the cards. So we've got the advance west against French forces there. We've got Richard O'Connor on standby, ready to basically commit himself to operations against southern Europe. Whether or not I'm going to actually invade French Italy, I haven't quite decided yet.
Why not?
Basically because I'm looking at basically delivering the killing blow to continental Europe. It does seem as though, however, the French have actually committed more ships to the channel than I had actually predicted. And the home fleet is actually not proving as... Well, basically, it's not... They have not been able to decisively bring the French fleet to battle in a manner that I am actually happy with. I mean,
is it not necessarily the size of the French fleet? Is it the composition of the French fleet?
No, it's all older vessels. I mean, they haven't got... I don't think they operate a single modern cruiser. Certainly nothing with the guide.
Yeah, but the channel, but in the channel, that doesn't matter. It doesn't have the space for a cruiser to operate. Yeah. What matters is the battleships can hug their coast.
Yeah,
and
I managed to pin down and kill Bern, but they've still got one of their modern. They've still got their only modern carrier still extant. They've still got the Richelieu. They've still got Richelieu, Dunkirk, and Alsace. They've got 4 heavy fleet, more modern-ish heavy fleet cruisers. Their light cruiser strength is not ideal. Their submarine strength is also pathetically weak. The problem is that the modern carrier fleet that I constructed, supported by 9.2-inch cruisers, is proving to be a little bit, well, not ideal. I may have to draw in assets from further afield. Might take some of the Pacific Fleet away. Might bring second and third. Yeah, might bring third and fourth Pacific scouting groups to the channel.
I'm currently looking. I don't know. I don't think you can probably see my screen as well as your own at the moment.
I can't.
I'm just looking at the you can probably possibly hear the Italian fleet. They're not doing good.
I can imagine not.
It's
So
this
ship
is
yeah,
in trouble.
So for those who are familiar, the British Pacific Fleet is, in the most part, the former US Navy. Apart from its carriers and some of its more useful assets. Although a carrier fleet has been provided, composed primarily of British assets. The H-Strong Implacable class. Along with their guided missile escorts. Western Approaches Command is a bit of a hodgepodge mix, but it does do the job of protecting convoys. The North Atlantic Fleet was for some time one of the more modern forces in the Royal Navy, consisting of the Illustrious class, the King George V, which I designed with 6 18-inch guns, and they've given me good service. As designed. Then I think where did the Incomparables go? The Incomparables went somewhere. Where did they go? They went somewhere, but I can't remember where. Because the South Atlantic Fleet has basically all the old girls. So this is the fleet that smashed the Argentinian Navy. So Lexington, Saratoga, Furious, Courageous, Glorious, Renown, Repulse, and Hood.
Just quickly. Good luck, Leslie, with your drive.
Yep, good luck, Leslie.
Ooh. Oh, he's let the destroyers get right into range for me.
Oh dear.
He's tried to use his 3-inch guns on my battleship and failed, and therefore ignored my destroyers getting close. And they're just launching 10. They just launched, I think, something like 20 torpedoes at him.
Oh dear. No good. That's not
and he also hasn't stopped my battleship getting close. The battleship sort of went, "Oh, you're using your 1.9-inch guns on me. Oh, he's now out of ammo."
Oh, that tickles.
The battleship managed to blow up his magazines. Oh, this is just...
That's brutal.
On paper, he stood a chance. In reality, you don't send out a single ship unless you have enough ships that you can afford to lose them to try and find the enemy battle fleet, which I had to do with an old battleship earlier. I had to send it out solo.
Yeah.
That's what you saw last week, and you were going, "Don't send out battleships!" And I'm going, "Literally, I'm using this to find the Italians so I can kill them so keep hiding."
So you can pin them and kill them, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Their fleet came out, they won a glorious battle, then they got swarmed by 6 other battleships and their fleet, and I went, "Oh, frigate, we've got sunk."
Yeah. So yeah, the Mediterranean fleet's actually had quite an interesting career. USS Ranger.
Okay.
The USS Ranger has had a fantastic time clobbering things in the Mediterranean. She's got quite a good kill list. Ranger is Cunningham's carrier in the Med, and for his battle line, he's got all of the Revengers and all of the QEs. And they've had a fantastic time just wailing on the Regia Marina. Like, Ranger has to her name.
Can you just, for a second, Ranger?
Yeah.
USS Ranger.
Yes. In the aftermath of my conquest of the United...
It's not Ranger as built.
Of course it is. I've not really changed her much since I wasn't really bothered since she wasn't a UK built ship.
No, as built historically.
Yes, because the US starts the game with her. I don't know how she's done what she's done in the Med, probably because she's surrounded by Cunningham's task force and has just been free to launch aircraft at things. But she's got to her name the Destroyer Spica, the Submarine H1, the Submarine Delfino, the Submarine Navallo, the Submarine Irede, the Battleship Vittorio Veneto, the Destroyer Albion, the Cruiser Emden, the Destroyer Z-25. I can actually scroll down so I can see the rest of it. Oh, come on. Let me... Oh, it's doing the thing where it's auto-saving in the middle of something else. I'm like, do you mind? Do you mind? I'm busy.
I'm just doing something. I'm just doing something. Yeah, stop doing that to me.
Yeah, it's like, come back another time, please. I'm busy. Okay, where was I? Oh, okay, yeah. So, the Destroyer Z-25, the Destroyer Centauro, the Destroyer Adelone, the Light Cruiser Balmatolo Corleone, the Light Cruiser Alberto de Giussini. Sorry, not that one. And finally, she contributed to helping sink the carrier Bern.
I've got to say, apparently, Fleet is very, very loud. So while you're carry on talking, I'm just going to try and have.
Oh, hang on, that's probably. I'm just gonna let me just very quickly poke it myself. I should be able to do this. Let me just. If it'll let me. If the okay, there we go.
I think
I think
that's hopefully fix things.
we can but hope.
We can but hope.
We can but hope. Oh, no, don't do that. Ooh, nearly, fleet, nearly. But yeah, so Warspite only has 2 light cruisers on her kill tally, but she is still alive. Barham's done okay. I think there's one of the R's and QEs that has a rap sheet a mile long. I forget which one it is. I know one of them killed Bairn. I just can't remember which one. It's Queen Elizabeth herself. Queen Elizabeth herself put Bairn down with 15-inch shellfire.
Well, I'm glad for her. Someone needed to do it. Someone needed to save the world from that. Ooh! By the way, Runon, you should have all the powers of moderation on both channels at the moment. So apparently the moderators, when we share chat, the moderators' powers get expanded to the combined chat.
Yep.
Which is very scary for someone.
Indeed. It is a shame to lose so many ships, sadly, but well, kind of had to happen.
At least getting control of Brunei.
In a weird cosmic sort of way. We're losing subs in the med, it's annoying. Well, it's the med, you always lose subs in the med. Problem is I'm waiting to actually transfer over to a nuke boat fleet. And so I'm not building new submarines right now, because I'm waiting for the massive paradigm shift that's about to come.
Okay.
Besides, my yards are basically full up doing construction. And what aren't full up on construction. I'm building 4 battleships, 4 missile cruisers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fully auto-loading 6-inch gun cruisers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flotillas of destroyers. The yards are full. No room. Oh, hello. Oh, well, that's typical. You bring the ex-American ships over to the channel and they thrash the French fleet. What else is new?
Yeah, I'm still worried that your ships weren't threatening the American fleet.
Ugh, bloody hell. Ugh. Sorry, down the wrong hatch there. Ugh.
What did you just drink?
It was only a Coke.
See, this is why I stick to Iron Brew. Orange is a healthy colour.
That really was down the wrong hatch.
Going, I'm not getting into this. I'm not getting into
nope,
this.
I am absolutely
I'm not getting into the Coke versus Iron Brew debate. I'm close enough to Scotland, closer to Scotland than Alex is.
Yep.
This could be scary for me if I try and argue it.
Oh, that's good. For the loss of 2 destroyers, we managed to cripple a massive chunk of the French maritime aviation and sink a heavy cruiser and a destroyer. That's something. Could probably do with some fighters operating over the region, actually. If I think about it. The question is, do I have any spare? Because they're supposed to be operating
I've got the Mark V 19-inch gun now.
Good lord.
That's an option to build with. Mark V 19-inch gun.
And I am lobbing missiles into France. Because, I mean, after all, isn't that your favourite pastime as well? Lobbing ballistic missiles into France? I mean, they're only conventional missiles, but I'm just lobbing missiles into France.
Yeah, that's
I mean, who wouldn't lob missiles into France?
Britain's been desiring to lob missiles into France as long as we've had missiles, basically.
Uh-huh. Losses to the losses to the meteors are proving a little bit disconcerting, but that's okay.
Losses to meteors.
Yeah, the Gloucester meteors are tangling with the meteors are shooting down more than they lose, but there's just so many more French aircraft that the losses are actually starting to stack up now a little bit.
Okay, you might need to increase your production.
I mean, I've got 50 factories churning out 7.5 meteors every single day.
Yeah, but how many meteors are you losing a day?
Let me just see. What's the daily loss ratio? We can find out if we go to if I go to logistics, I can see exactly what the loss rate is. If I can get the Royal Armoured Corps ashore, we win. It's just, you know, getting the Royal Armoured Corps ashore. Let's see. So apparently aircraft losses have stabilized. So there must have been a dip at the start of the war, and now everything's stabilized again.
Yeah.
That's what it seems
but
like.
How many are you losing?
A
day.
Let me see. In the last 30-day period, we lost 300-ish. So, yeah, more like 400-ish fighters, and the French have lost 800 in the last 30-day period.
And you're building 7 a day, but you're losing roughly 12 to 15 a day.
Yeah. Problem is, unless operational tempo calms down, which it won't, there's not really anything I can do, because I can't strip factories from other things, because, well,
You can't build any more factories?
I can, but the problem is that takes time. And I think
still say starting now, building some sort of factories might actually help you out longer term.
I mean,
you're fighting the French at the moment. You're then going to be fighting the Italians.
They what?
And then you're going to be moving on to the Americans, right?
They what? They what? The Turks did what now?
The Italians.
Turkey.
Well, aren't you planning on fighting the Italians later?
Yes, I'm more interested in why the Turks have suddenly decided to.
I never said the Turks. The Turks have. You've been attacked by the Turks while they're talking.
Yeah, literally just now.
Well, that's probably because they heard us discussing all the issues you're having with your production.
And that's brought in. Yeah, okay. My plan to divide and conquer has failed. The Turks have attacked me, and that's dragged in the entirety of basically the rest of the world into the conflict.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. This was not my plan. Plan was to take out the French and use that as a basing. Ah, well, never mind. No plan survives contact with the enemy and all that.
Actually, some plans do.
We have decent kit. It's fine. We need to reinforce those gentlemen. So the American theater should have men in position, I think. Yes, I don't think there's anyone we're fighting over here. No, that's good. One of the heartlands of Imperial control is still safe. Thank God. Turkish submarines are dropping like flies. And here's hope. Oh my God, that's going to be an entire. Oh Lord, that is. Right, we need to speed run. We need to massively rush to take positions on the Suez Canal, because the army that was facing the Turks has been caught out of position. Just by the surprise nature of it. There was no warning.
And you had nothing there to cover for it.
No, there was an army there, but they were caught out of position. They were positioning for a strike against Iraq and Iran.
Okay.
And so they were on the wrong border. So they've been encircled. They've been cut off. There's no chance of them actually being liberated. But we do have one that
Is there a
we
chance
do.
of them finding a way out?
No, not a cat and else chance. Yeah. It's annoying, but, well, the western part of the North African campaign goes very well indeed. I need to decide what I'm going to commit to turn things around. As long as
Well,
I...
Which enemy? Basically, you stabilize one front and you go offensive on the other front.
Yep, that's basically the long and short of it.
Pick which front is easiest to stabilize, and then go offensive on the other one.
We just take Tripoli? We should have done. Guys, you have no supply, they have no supply. Keep pushing forwards. Take Tripoli and you will have supply again.
I do love it.
It does appear as though the
Twitch
Turks...
does the same.
Go on.
Twitch does the same level of complaint if your stream bitrate is too high as if it's too low. It's unstable. But if it's too high, you never have any problems.
Yeah.
It's just too high. It just annoys Twitch. Doesn't, you know.
That's the Finnish Navy. What? And there come the... Oh god, that's going to be a massive force, basically. We'll have to hold them at Suez. If we can get there before they do.
You're getting destroyed by the Finnish Navy now.
No, it's more the fact the Finnish Navy's just there. It is basically now Imperial Federation versus the rest of the world. But I wasn't really ready for it.
You do have some advantages in that.
I do, but it's going to be a lot harder of a war now that I can't get a foothold on the continent by destroying the French, and then turn my vast mechanized army with good supply chains and a chance to build up to smash, you know, almost in a reverse Soviet storm out of the Rhineland, east across the plains of Germany, and into Russia, or what was Russia. And now I'm gonna have to get ashore the old-fashioned way and do it that way. It's gonna be annoying, overly complex, and, well, to be blunt, more than just a little bit obtuse, especially with the naval situation deteriorating somewhat. I'm basically stuck with I'm basically stuck with the reverse of almost the Royal Navy situation historically. I have lots of ships, but there's lots of theatres.
Yeah?
And my cruisers are not proving as effective as I would have hoped. The Mediterranean scouting force is in a bit of a bad way. I'm probably going to have to split off some reinforcements from the Pacific Fleet to come and reinforce it. Also bring in some additional submarines. And that's the new reserve fleet coming up there. That's Vanguard being refitted. Yes, there we go. Get the bulk up the Mediterranean fleet. Okay. That was a close run shave. We did manage to get our forces in position to just about stop the Turks at the Suez Canal.
Yeah, the max for
that was
the max for Twitch is roughly 6,000 kilobytes a second. But for YouTube, the recommended is at the minimum of 8,000, preferable about 9 to 10. And so
need more fighters. If we've got them spare, we don't. Everything's engaged in the wars in continental Europe.
Why is that? I'm not sure about doing that solo.
Let's get them into Cairo and send them into the Levant. We need air power. Yeah, Austrian and Hungarian tanks are there. Ugh. Part of Karl von Habsburg's big plan for a European federation.
Yeah.
Since Austria is now calling itself the European President. That's its official name.
That's fun.
If only the French and the Austrians would fight each other. But that's unlikely.
But they're often going to destroy some random things around that one.
Yeah. I've gotten exceptionally lucky. I did have spare air forces knocking around that I could throw into the Levant to radically shake up that front. And basically enable my troops to hold the status quo there while we wrap up in the Western Theatre of Africa. That offensive is going exceptionally well, mostly because it seems like the French don't have the troops to spare to stop me. Their forces must be committed elsewhere.
Well, that normally does explain certain things.
The thing that confuses me is, well, the Turkish fleet is abroad, but where exactly, I don't know. Somewhere, no doubt, but where exactly, I couldn't tell you. Yeah. Unfortunately, the logistics that the enemy army in the Sinai is operating under are basically abysmal. Chances of them making a breakthrough are basically slim to none. They're under constant air attack, their supplies aren't getting through, because they're being constantly interdicted by RAF jet aircraft, conducting lightning raids on railways and supply hubs. And also the situation is just bad.
Yeah.
We can basically sit here all day and bleed them until the situation changes.
Yeah. But that does tend to work out to your advantage if you do that policy.
Yeah. Problem seems to be is that where's the battle line? Where on earth is the constantly under repair?
I'm currently dealing with the economic issue of keep finding oil everywhere I'm going.
Mm-hmm. That's an issue.
Yes, because I need more time. I'm moving it around the world. Moving it around the world is putting a lot of transports in places which I don't want transports to be in.
Oh, I know that feeling. Their convoy network's not quite under attack, but it is. Also, Japan. Okay, so Japan is now fascist again, which they weren't a second ago, and is now fighting. Okay, so there is a weird thing. The West Pacific Treaty Organization, which was democratic Japan, but is now fascist Japan and Kim Il Sung's Korea, are fighting the European Union, which includes China and other areas. Which is weird, but okay, I guess. And unlike, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I guess.
I'm guessing, yeah.
So that's fine. That takes that pressure off. That means I don't have to deal with a land war in Asia. Because, the Asians are fighting the land war in Asia for me. Which is good.
Yeah.
So that means I can concentrate all of my efforts on battering the door down in Europe.
Yeah.
What I need to consider is some mass. Some form of guided missile submarine corvette, basically. A modern combatant designed more as an anti-submarine asset than any form of... Okay, so... yeah, escort destroyer. Use a very basic light diesel engine, doesn't have to be fast. Give it some torpedoes. Give it towed array sonar.
You want to build something you can turn out in huge numbers quickly.
That's what I'm trying to do. The problem is, though, is that we're also kind of in a world where churning it out in huge numbers quickly is also, it has to be good, because we're dealing with, anacoted the post-war era of what we would consider submarines, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, being cheap is not enough. It has to be good. Although, because it's a modern thing, it can actually carry a helipad to carry an anti-submarine helicopter, which will be a massive boost. I'm also going to fit it with an awful lot of anti-aircraft guns. Oh, now the finisher. So we want generic. Escort destroyers, because these are literally just going to be turned out. I'll call this the Type 48s, because they're made in 1948. Type 48 destroyer escorts. And, oh yeah, bow sonar. There we go. Beautiful. Fantastic. And what I'm going to do...
All sounds good to me.
...is... I know it's not the actual Royal Navy designations, and I get that, but it's just... It makes sense to me. And it sounds about right.
It gives you something. It gives you something to work with.
Yeah, because I don't want to give them names, because that would use up my name list incredibly quickly. I don't want to save names for ships that are, you know, a bit more important, like destroyers, cruisers, battleships. Because I don't have unlimited names in my name list. I have a lot of names, but not unlimited. So, there we go. Let's start. So if I do production, so if I do 3 production lines... one to serve each of the remaining western approaches command forces, and then I'll do another 3.
My largest battleships, the Raleighs, with 16.5-inch guns.
Oh, very good.
31 knots. Also, things are about to start coming online over
Hey!
the next 12 months.
Very good. Well done.
And then I've ordered the Zebedees, which are... basically, one was, what's the largest battleship with the longest range guns I've got? And the other was...
Oh my god.
The most efficient battleship with longest range guns I've got.
The Romanians have brought the funny square machine. The Romanians have brought that funny tank destroyer that was that inspired the Hetzer to the battle in the Middle East. I cannot.
How's it doing?
Well, it doesn't seem to be doing that well. I mean, the colonial garrisons have tank destroyers of their own. Like, they all have Valentines with 20-pounder guns on them, so they can deal with enemy armor fairly well. I just wish we had more in the way of kit. And also, we are, again, another escort force destroyed. I may have to have the home fleet do reconnaissance enforcing the channel, just because if you encounter the French with anything other than the full might of the home fleet, they just seem to pick you off because they summon their battleships and just... Even my modern cruisers can't stand up against even one of their battleships just rocking up. And of course it's Admiral Darlan that did it. Typical. Absolutely typical.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so hopefully, all being well, we can get atomic missiles soon. And then there'll be nothing to stop me obliterating various continental cities. That should turn the war in my favour. Rather dramatically, wouldn't you say?
Well, it would certainly in theory.
Yeah, so... The French are losing. They're not breaking through on the east either. The Japanese are... I think they're winning. The Indians are pushing into China from the south. Turkey has its vast empire that it owns, but it's not really availing them of all that much. Pushing west. We're reorganising our strength for another attack into France. Rebuilding the Royal Marine divisions. Let me just very quickly send out the home fleet as a actual patrol force in the channel, because, well, if I don't, they basically... Problem is the repairs.
Start to dominate the channel.
That's the plan. Well, I mean, I am actually building a new patrol force, but I need to wait for it to actually get its assets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna create 2 new Channel Patrol forces, but I need the missile cruisers for it, and I need the... So I need the new generation of Southamptons, and they're not ready yet.
Nope.
Because without them, it's... Well, it's a little bit off-kilter whether or not things go well. There we go.
Fu is having a lot of fun.
Yes, yes I am.
Could I turn fleet down a bit? Could I turn fleet down a bit? I can turn it down as much as I
Let
can.
me see if I can just very quickly fiddle with that. Give me a second.
One of the things is I have my settings turned down because I'm naturally quite loud and I kept hurting people's ears. So, yeah, which sometimes does create the imbalance where you guys say I'm very quiet compared to the others. Mark 5 20-inch gun. Ooh. We're all doing well. Bit short up there. Need more tonnage. More tonnage is coming. More tonnage is coming. Slowly we've pushed them back, and now we've just got basically this space to start really take off them. Once we take a ring off Italy, then we have a very different scenario going on. Let's, before we go, and this is what I've been hanging on for, I wanted to do, before I went, the last generation probably of destroyers. Or rather, start off the last generation of destroyers. So first we'll go to the submarines. And order them. We need 100 more submarines, I think. It's always nice when you go, what are you building? I'm building 100 submarines.
So I've adjusted my mic gain down again. So...
Well, you sounded fine to me, so I was not quite sure what was the problem.
Hopefully, that should mean I'm not so loud for anybody else. I hope. Wow, that's a lot of ace pilots. So we're getting progress there.
I'm just ordering 100 submarines.
Well, nothing wrong with 100 submarines.
Nope.
Do we have enough Oh my lord, we are not short on. Yeah, let me just very quickly get all of the CAS aircraft, and I'll just throw them into the Levant as well, just to make it absolutely clear. And we'll put 200. Oh, I knew I built this multi-charge gun for a reason. On Cyprus to bombard Turkey. Yeah, now I remember why I built it. I know I'd built it for a reason. I just couldn't remember why.
Yeah.
Ah yes, you are now going to receive all of the CAS damage. You don't get to resist. They're just throwing so much manpower and materiel against the Suez line, and it's just not working for them in any real way. France's economy isn't quite collapsing, but their air power is beginning to. Well, even then, they've brought in more aircraft from their allies now, which is annoying. Because now their allies are bringing in extra air power. Which is really...
Well, you always have to expect them to do so, don't you?
I know. Problem is, I'm basically the Imperial Federation, which is basically it's me, myself, and I. So... I need to get troops ashore in continental Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. We've managed to get the English Channel down to a neutral status at least, which is something.
That gives you some measure of defence in depth.
It does, and they have no chance of getting aircraft over the British Isles itself. That's just not something they're going to be able to do. And the offensive towards West Africa is going exceptionally... Oh, wait, hold on, just a minute. Did I see that right?
What's happened?
Aha! So that's where you are. That's giving me valuable intelligence. So Joffre, along with the battleship Lorraine, is operating in the Western Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
That gives me very valuable intelligence on where she is. Guys, we literally have Alexandria. It is safer to use. Please, Cunningham, use it. Please.
What's he trying to do?
He was trying to repair his fleet in Malta and Benghazi.
Well, they're closer.
Yeah, but the port infrastructure there isn't big enough since I've built up Alexandria to be the main fleet base. Like, Malta can do repairs, but not to as many ships as Alexandria can. We are at least scoring kills on enemy destroyers, which is lucky. And the offensive in West Africa is going fairly well. Over Europe, though, it's just a mess. That's another set of... Yeah. Let me just declare the channel a no-go area to make sure that all of my shipping diverts.
Somehow the Italians have managed to get Eritrea back, so I will have to take that off.
Yeah, it's probably worth taking on.
I'm not sure how they did this. I don't know how they did this, but you know.
Well, the Italians are sneaky, you know. They probably sailed a submarine out with a bunch of frogmen and blew up a ship. I mean, come on, it would be a very Italian thing to do.
Well, they managed to get control of Eritrea, but not Corsica.
Good lord. Oh, the wild card here is actually Belgium and the Netherlands.
I've taken all their territories. Anyway, I've just been messages to tell me that my food is ready, so I'm going to go.
I see. Farewell, Dr. Clark.
Good luck. Hope you have fun.
Let's see how this actually works when one
yeah.
person disconnects. That's going to be interesting.
Let's see. Do I need to? They should all come to you.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
But should I do a raid as a backup?
Let's see how we go, and if not, we'll chalk it up to what happens next.
Yeah. We'll know about it for future. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it interesting. And yeah, take care.
Goodbye.
You all for brew ships later.
Oh, of course, absolutely. You know me. Always be there. Well, we'll see what happens. You all know how to find me. Obviously, just click on me if you want to come to my stream. It's happening right now. So, we'll have to see how that goes, because I don't exactly know how this works. So...
Has everyone come across?
Don't think so. No, they have not.
Okay, so we still have to do a raid in future. We now know that we have to do a raid if we're going to do that.
Fair enough. Well, at least we know. At least we know. See if anyone actually comes over without a raid. Some people probably will. We shall see. Either way, take care, Alex.
Take care.
Well. The raid didn't quite go as planned, but that's fine. Not a problem at all. Oh, someone is... Oh, someone is... Okay, so I am now, in fact, being raided. Excellent. Excellent that I am now being given a bit of the old raiding, as they do say. Ah, 9 people are coming over. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Welcome all of you. Aha! Thank you, Dr. Clark, for the raid. And those of you who came over manually. Thank you. Oh, follower goal met. Nice, 110 followers we have met. If only we could reach the bits goals and the sub goals, that would be even better. If you can support me, every little bit helps to keep Fleet going. It all helps. Let me just... There we go. So I'm going to do that based off that, because that frees up a lot of power for my old steam-powered MacGuffin to keep everything rolling. Hype! Yes. Indeed. The hype. Excellent. Thank you, Paul, for the sub. Thank you, Chaplain Backers, for the follow. You'd love to see it. It's really nice to have you all here, as it always is. Helps keep little old Fleet ticking over. But yeah, so lots of ace pilots being promoted, and then we're just shooting down French pilots. Incoming raid detected. They really think they're going to be able to do a facility strike on Yorkshire. That would require them to get through all of the assets, which they're just not going to be able to do. Okay, so our carriers did finally... Are you serious? We had 5 full fleet carriers, and they just sank 34 destroyers like it was nothing. What the heck are these French ships made out of? What are these French ships made out of? I genuinely don't understand. Good lord. It is annoying that for some reason these French ships seem capable of basically almost impossible feats, for no other reason seemingly that they can. Oh, AA missiles. Lovely. Well, we've got our ace pilots doing things, which is good. Federal forces are marching west into the Mediterranean. This is all very good indeed. Repairs are underway on the Mediterranean fleet, and the forces of the European Union are not able to break through the Suez battery, which is perfectly acceptable. I haven't got the hang of this game. Not having it doesn't help. Yeah, Hoi 4 can be a bit of a complex beast if you're looking at it, not knowing what exactly is going on. Wild Ace appears. Ace Pilot promoted. Well, it does appear that we do have some good news. We may actually be able to get ashore. Well, the problem is actually that we kind of can't. Yeah, an invasion of Brest seemed like a good idea at the time, but perhaps we should focus on an invasion around Le Havre. Try and focus all our efforts into one sector of coast and just absolutely batter our way ashore that way. The home carrier fleet got a bit of its teeth kicked in. It's okay for the most part, it's still combat capable, but it's not what it ideally should be. And the destroyer escorts it possesses are direly needed by Western Approach's command's forces. I'm just waiting for the missile cruisers that are supposed to make up the firepower of the force, the Southamptons, to finish, and they won't be done until October of this year. Well, Orléans France can decrypt our ciphers all they like, it's not going to help them over much. I mean, we've just found and sunk what I think are... Yes, a bunch of, yeah. For some reason, the Finnish fleet was operating in the Far East and was found by the, by a combined Anglo-Japanese force and obliterated. As are convoys in the region. British Imperial submarines also finding and sinking an awful lot of convoys out to their allies in the east. The problem is that unless the fleet can be brought to battle, which doesn't seem too likely that we can, and unless we can... Okay, so super carriers, that'll help get me more modern ships. But I need to wait for our Cold War submarine hulls and some of the more advanced technology I'm going to need to create subs that can thrive in a threat environment the likes of which we have to deal with. I'm also moving Western Approach's command forces to the west of Gibraltar to try and protect trade coming in that way, because that's where it's actually most vital and where the French can get out, because convoys no longer transit the Bay of Biscay unless absolutely necessary. The problem we've got is that we need more... We just need more of everything. I mean, the nuclear reactors are helping boost up the productive rates of pretty much everything we possess, but building them takes time. The Mediterranean submarine campaign chews through ships like it's going out of fashion. Funny thing is, even our second-line forces now are actually good enough that we can just kind of obliterate the French in Africa. Even our second-line divisions are superior enough that we can just do this. Seize their supply dumps, shatter their lines, break their mainline infantry divisions so thoroughly using our basic colonial divisions. The fall of Marrakesh, that means that the road to Casablanca is now open. Any threat of them crossing the Suez has basically been failed. The forces in Africa are basically shattered. I can't commit the maneuver group in Europe to any actions in Africa, owing to the basic fact that to do so would be to basically give up on the idea of a landing in France. Normandy, most likely. That is the plan, in essence, is to... If I can actually... I need to pause for a minute to think. Okay, so... we have our assets here, the home fleet. We're working up a force of ships that will go and will enable us to strike... Well, These two ships will take over as the patrol groups once they've got their missile escorts with them. In fact, I'll move that from the reserve. Move that force from the reserves up to the fleet, up to the active reserves. Western Approaches Command. The two fleets that have survived each have a carrier. One has the ex-USS Langley, still serving after all this time. The other has Old Hermes. And each of those ships acts as a massive force multiplier to the groups they work with. Although, since I do have the naval bombers available, I am also going to try and operate some naval assets in the Atlantic to aid them. Although, to be blunt, the actual offensive into Casablanca is going to enable me to do that. And do so rather thoroughly as well. The problem is that the landings in Europe can't take place until the channel is secured. The channel can't be secured until the home fleet is ready to actually sail and operate again. And that won't happen for a while. Mediterranean fleet as well is under repair in Alexandria and won't be available for some time. Even the Mediterranean scouting force is not ready for combat operations just yet. The Pacific Fleet is a reserve, but that's the thing, it is a reserve force. It contains assets that will be useful for work in potential fights against Japan. And I'm loath to withdraw forces away from it. Even though some of the ships involved are some of the newest vessels in the fleet, particularly the 4 Southampton-class cruisers. Although what I could do, actually, is if I send the Southamptons to join the reserve fleet, the new-build Southamptons can join the Pacific Carrier Fleet as their replacement, since the Pacific Carrier Fleet isn't actually likely to see any action, and we need those Southamptons with the home fleet now. Yeah, let's do that, because that will work, and that gives me the chance to reinvigorate the offensive actions I'm performing in the channel in a rather major way. Oh, no you don't. Go. And that enables me to move like that. And crush the Orleanist forces that are even now attempting funny things. Casablanca has fallen into British hands. Whether or not we can hold it, I honestly don't know. I'd like to believe that we can. Whether or not we actually can, I don't know. I don't know what's actually happening in the southern UK. I don't think the enemy does have its own multi-charge caliber guns, but they're being intercepted and stopped by our aircraft. And dominance over France is steadily returning to us as their older aircraft phase in and the kill counts of our aircraft get bigger and bigger and bigger. We don't have any thermonuclear devices. I think we're working on the thermonuclear bomb, I believe. Oh no, we're working on nuclear engines for our navy. That's right. I'm waiting to get land cruisers to sweep across Europe. Strategic strike carrier. Very nice indeed. Ooh, strategic strike carrier hull. I like that. That's really cool. So we don't have... We can get missile launching submarines. Oh, that's pretty cool. So we're researching Cold War submarines, so we'll have those soon. I can research full missile warship. I think I actually will do that. Well, the French have actually managed to get some troops down there, but we'll crush that quickly. The French in North Africa have now been defeated. Well, in Africa generally have been defeated. Their last holdouts will soon be crushed by Imperial troops, and we'll be able to move on to other things. Timu, I am familiar with Elite Dangerous, but I am not actually... never played it. As for what my favourite game is, Paul, I don't actually have a favourite that stands above the rest. I have a few that I like to play. A lot of them I can't play because of, well, my computer being deteriorating over the years, but I am very fond of Transport Fever. But I don't get to play it nearly as much as I'd like to because my computer can't handle Transport Fever 2. Which I do find a little bit annoying, but hey-ho, that's the way it is. Okay, so we have now the force we want, so let me just split that in two. Assign that to the Channel Fleet. So this is the Home Fleet First Scouts. And Home Fleet Second Scouts. And we're auto-saving again. Lovely. Ah, Winston Jellicoe. Call sign the Baron. With a name like Winston Jellicoe, you're basically guaranteed. Oh my lord, Winston Jellicoe? Peter Kitchener, Winston Jellicoe? Like, with names like this, how can we possibly fail? Oh, so it turns out bringing missile cruisers into the channel may have slightly redressed the balance a little bit. Yeah, bringing ships that can sling things like Tarrier and Telos into the channel is just... Yeah! Yeah, your guns don't work so well when, you know, the opposing vessel can just lob a missile the size of a telegraph pole at you. God! Oh! Gun warships just can't win against missile vessels. Well... If the entire enemy fleet shows up, that's a different matter. Where on earth is the... we should have waited until the... Yeah, we still have everything to hold, because if we commit our forces before the... Yeah, we have to make sure that everything is ready. Their first engagements, and they already took an absolute pasting. It's horrific. There we go. Crush what remains of Orleanist France in Morocco. Let me just check on the progress of the Mediterranean fleet. Is both the striking fleet and the main fleet ready? No, HMS Tiger is not yet repaired. As soon as she is repaired, we're going to be sending the fleet to Tunis. I'm actually going to send the Mediterranean Scouting Force there as well. Okay, the Liberians already... Okay, the Liberians did that. Right, okay. So everybody, if you would kindly, pretty please, with a cherry on top, move your butts over to Le Suez Canal, please. Thank you, that would be absolutely grand. Oh, did they succeed? Oh, they... Those cheeky buggers, they did. Ugh. That's annoying. That's very annoying. Oh, submarine. There we go. That's what I wanted. Nuclear reactors for my upcoming submarines. There we go. So we've got 4. Split that force in 2. And send the additional ships to the Pacific. So the Western approaches task groups that work on trying to escort convoys as best we can. Oh my god, I'm looking at the horrors in the channel and it's just nasty business. The casualties over the channel, though, they are getting a bit dire. Yeah, we need more kit basically everywhere. Problem is that we're basically fighting a massive industrial air war. Although with our new destroyer escorts, we do seem to now be getting an edge over the submarines in the Atlantic. And our destroyers are seemingly finding the French. We should probably try to engage them near friendly air cover. Are they operating there? No, they are operating in the Western Med, which is where we thought they were. Okay, right, the Mediterranean fleet is also prepared. Let's move you to Tunisia. This operation is going to require me to actually think before I commit the fleet to battle. We do actually now seem to be dropping the hammer on French submarines in the Atlantic now. In a major way. Well, our aircraft and our cruisers found and destroyed a bunch of Finnish vessels, which is good. I need to make sure, though, that our ships are ready to engage in combat operations before we commit the fleet to battle again. Because, oh, good gravy. Do we need more support than we have now? I'm just going to check the rest of the world. I don't think any of the theatres have changed. No. British India and British Africa are as I would expect them to be. The front with China is basically what I would expect. It's just the possibility now of driving up into Anatolia across the Suez Canal. Basically. I'm basically doing the whole second front strategy, except this time we're pushing up through Anatolia. And I may be able to release some... Actually, I may be able to actually release 2 new... I may be able to create a new tank army. To serve on the drive into Russia. What do you mean large ships on low strike? Oh, okay. Okay, we, as they were moving to Tunis, they found and engaged... Okay, so Lorraine has been sunk by Royal Sovereign. Tourville has been sunk by Malaya. 3 cruisers and 10 destroyers have been sunk. Oh, and again, we have found another task group. Our forces are fleeing, as we are battered from the last engagement, but we seem to be inflicting far more casualties on them than they are on us as we retire to the rear. Although some British destroyers were lost in the engagement. Yeah, that was an even trade in destroyers, something the Mediterranean fleet cannot afford. Especially given they were supposed to be... Well, they did at least find and sink the target they were supposed to. The problem now is that, well, in so doing, the Mediterranean fleet suffered, well, I wouldn't quite call the casualties grievous, but they're bad enough that I need to consider another wave of cruiser construction to make up for the losses. Can we strip some other forces? Actually, yeah, I could strip... Yeah, I could strip some of the Pacific fleets. Oh yeah, I could strip some of the modern tribals from the Pacific fleet. Yeah, I'll strip all of the modern tribal class destroyers from the Pacific fleet and send them to bulk up Cunningham's Mediterranean fleet. That should do for now. It'll keep things on the back burner anyway. While I consider what to do next regarding naval construction. Oh, an operative can be recruited. Marvelous. Yeah, we'll get an operative from somewhere. Okay. I think we're ready to undergo our first offensive of the war. Let's see if we can actually break out of the Sinai pocket and push back up to the pre-war borders. If we can, I'll be very impressed. And we have the air power here, we have the supply. It seems like we are actually going to be able to stage a breakout. The enemy's forces are low on supply, and we should be able to drive our way. I mean, if we can cut off that entire pocket of troops, we'll be able to inflict the reverse on them that they inflicted on our troops when this whole war began. Encircling and destroying a, quite frankly, stupidly large force of EU troops. The enemy's forces are tired, they're demoralized, they're almost, I'd say, broken. They're trying to hold open their escape route, but they can't do it forever. And we will inevitably break through. Come on, lads, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Honestly, okay, yep, that's it, we just crushed them. We just killed, I think, about 25 divisions there. Yeah, the offensive into Turkey is underway, and we are going to march all the way into... well, basically all the way to Ankara. Knock the Turks clean out of the war. Push up into the soft underbelly of Europe. We're the ones outnumbered. Keep it going, men. Come on, don't let us get stuck. Don't let us get stuck in the same trap that they did. Let's keep it going. There we go. That's it. Yeah, let's not let if we get stuck in the same pitfalls they did, then we'll suffer the same fate they did. Let's not have that happen. Let's keep seize Jerusalem, sweep around, cut off Tel Aviv. And here comes 6 divisions worth of reinforcements up the Cape to Cairo Railway. Even better. So there should be more Vanguard class ships. Okay, the home fleet is now at sea in the channel and looking for a scrap with the... Actually, hold on, I need to pause it, because while the home fleet is at sea and looking for a scrap, that means that we can actually attempt to launch the invasion of continental Europe, because we will have limited control of the seas for the briefest of moments. And the Royal Marines can actually go and attempt their landing operation. Or the home fleet ideally ties down and engages any hostile assets. Well, we hope. This may not work. And of course we also have operations in the Middle East as well. The drive up towards well, the seizure of Tel Aviv was a bit of a gamble, but it seems to have paid off. And once worn down and occupied, it will enable us to push forwards. 400 aircraft can occupy the forward airbase, so in that case then I'm going to send the air superiority and CAS aircraft forward. There we go. I think we need to stop and reorganize because we're going to have problems if we don't. The first thing I fundamentally need to do is make use of that supply dump that we captured in the desert. And the one we captured in Jerusalem. And the siege of Tel Aviv must be maintained. The Royal Marines are going ashore. We seem to... Okay, yeah, that's it. We've caught the entire strength of the home fleet. All of its cruisers, all of its carriers, all 8 of its battleships have caught the French fleet. This is the decisive battle we've been waiting for. This is the decisive action. Come on. 2 French battleships. 3, 4, 5, 6. Cruisers. Come on. More. 6. Yep. Okay. Come on. Don't let Jean Bart get away. Oh, Jean Bart just slipped away. But that's a crushing victory. That's what we've been waiting for. That is the battle we've been waiting for. 4 light cruisers. 38 destroyers. 5 battleships. All but 1 of France's modern battleships. 5 heavy cruisers. 1 capital cruiser. We lost some ships doing it, but overall it was a massive success. Oh, the Soviet Union has re-entered the conflict. They were left as an independent polity, as a rump state in Siberia. What their capabilities are, I don't exactly know. They have an army. And they do have population, so this may not be the quick victory the European president expects. And it may work in our favour. But the destruction of the French fleet is something to be celebrated. There we go. We may actually be able to get ashore in Cherbourg, and if we do, we need to flood in as quickly as humanly possible. It looks like everything has turned around in our favour in rather spectacular fashion, ladies and gentlemen. The Tel Aviv pocket is about to be crushed utterly. We have an operation in the works to actually succeed in cutting various supply chains to forces operating in the desert. which, if successful, will enable us to reopen more offensive actions as we push upwards into the Levant, well, actually through the Levant and into Asia Minor. But the real thing of value, of course, is the fact that, okay, all right, we are ashore. Okay, so push our forces out. Push them out. Push them out. Push them out. We're ashore. Get me the elite tank regiment. Get me the elite tank army. They're the ones who have to go ashore immediately. Absolutely immediately. No holds bar. They have to go ashore. They have to be able to move fast. We must be able to exploit this. We must be able to open it out. Make way for the entire rest of the army to come ashore. This must be pushed with all speed. The French cannot categorically be allowed to reinforce the beachhead. They cannot be allowed to try and bring things to any form of war of static tendency. The war must be one of movement. We must be able to continue to make gains. We've managed to get ashore. Neil Ritchie, the hero of the various mechanized campaigns of the war. These regiments that are now in France have long storied histories. They rampaged across the United States. They have honor rolls that detail the taking of New York City, the seizure of Washington D.C., the march on San Francisco, the capture of Mexico City. Except this time they have Centurion tanks with which to do it. And do it they absolutely will. So the British Army is ashore in continental Europe. And at last, the tide will now turn. All I had to do was get ashore. I am now ashore. I can now bring the entire force of the British mechanized army to bear. All of it. With our crossing secured by the Royal Marines, our lads will be able to march across with impunity. The French Air Force is being swept from the skies in the areas we operate, and we have total dominance. Our tanks are just the best in the world. To put it simply, our objective is Siberia. And given the sheer amount of power each of my divisions possesses, I see absolutely no reason to stop the offensives until we get there. Especially with the extra kit now crossing the channel rapidly. Even with reinforcements brought in from overseas, there's very little that they can do. They've also got the East African campaign as well. But that seems to have bogged down now along static lines. It cost me more kit than I would like to admit, but we did get ashore. And now we're basically advancing into areas where we basically need to go. We've broken out into the southern French countryside. This is it. This is what all the build-up was. Could you not hit southern France with the Med Fleet and the army in North Africa? Well, the Med Fleet is tied down fighting the French Mediterranean Fleet, and the North African armies are now trying to fight up through the Levant. Start a second front through Belgium? No. No. I am not poking the prickly Colossus. Not a cat in hell's chance. I am not poking the prickly Colossus. No thank you. Not doing it. No way. All of the Low Countries are extremely prickly. The fact Brexit Belgium hasn't made any moves is honestly the most surprising thing here. They really should have made moves on the European Federation. Maybe they will when the Federation gets close to collapse. But honestly, the French are now... they can't put together enough forces to actually mount effective resistance. And we made it. Our forces are ashore. Although I now actually want to put them under a field... I want to put both Marine army groups under a field marshal. Probably Koos de Vet. Probably this gentleman, he seems very familiar. And we will withdraw them from the area of active operations so they can serve in other theatres. Since right now it's up to the army to do the fighting and the dying. There we go. So the Brittany Peninsula will soon be ours. And victory will soon be ours. Ladies and gentlemen, victory! I mean, to be fair, even in the Middle East, all we have to do is basically hold the front we've taken, tie down all those troops over there. Especially with the Soviets now fighting desperately their own campaign, along with the rest of their partners. The offensive is just... It's British Storm. It's just a rolling mechanized offensive that once it gains momentum, you basically can't stop it. Unless they've got their own mechanized forces to put in the way, there's literally nothing they can do to stop me. They just can't. I mean, look at it. Need to make sure we build enough trucks to keep everything going. Even... Thing is, though, we're seeing modern war. The losses in equipment and men just... For the pace of advance you get, just... This is what happens. You start going and you don't stop, but it's just... The cost involved to actually do it is just... a little bit excessive at times. That's it. Push forwards, men. Yeah. Yeah, this is just... They can decrypt my ciphers all they like, it's not gonna help them. Okay, the French Empire just fell over. Yeah, the French Empire just fell over. So yeah, I'm not going to... I'm gonna seize continental France at first. go. Yeah. There we go. Have Corsica as well, because it'd be a good inroad into various other places. Yep, get French India, Madagascar, French Caribbean. Canary Islands. There we go. I mean, I don't know why they're trying to actually contest. I don't really need... I mean, Jean Bart deserved well. It's worth actually trying to save her from the Cutter's Torch, if nothing else. There we go. Fantastic. So that works very well. And obviously I'll be returning that territory to the Soviet Union, since they'll need it to fight the war they're going to fight. There we go. That's fine. And now I'll need to take a pause quickly to reorientate the entire frontage. Because, yeah, that's changed things. But yeah, let me just transfer this land back to the Russians so they can help fight against the French. I'm keeping the outpost, though, I've gained. But very luckily, everything's gone mostly alright. What we need to do now is rapidly reorient ourselves. Oh, that's right, Oh, that's right, we're not at war with the Reich, are we? Oh, yeah, we're not, are we? There we go. So the Armoured Corps will push into southern Italy. The main army will continue pushing eastwards towards the Baltics. And the force guarding the middle will guard the middle. As long as we get the jump on it before they do, we'll be alright. But we've got to get a jump on it before they do. And move rapidly. As long as we're faster than they are, we'll be alright. As soon as the forces are ready to move, they should move. Yep, there we go. We're crossing the Alps now. Let me see about actually throwing troops over through into Kur and into Lugano. Try and get across the Alpine passes as fast as we can. Yeah, there we go. We've broken through in the south. There we go. Push through the Gotthard Pass. I think their forces are tied up in the east and trying to fight the Soviets. They've basically let me kick the whole rotten door in essence. That's basically the long and the short of it here. Let me just connect those two fronts. Okay, we've connected those two fronts. So I can now extend that front line all the way down. And add that division to that frontage while we keep going forwards. Yeah, it seems like they left it seems like they basically did the equivalent of leaving the back door unlocked. While our forces continue to grind ever onwards. Now we need to basically assign air wings to the various divisions leading the offensive actions, in essence. So we need 300 fighters for them. 300 fighters for them. 300 fighters for them. And then out of the CAS forces assigned to the Middle Eastern effort, we can spare aircraft. Absolutely we can. CAS for you. CAS for you. And CAS for you. And then that'll just make the offensives even more effective than they already are. We're basically in the end game now. There's literally... This is probably going to be the last war that we fight. Because at that point, we'll dominate enough of the world for me to basically go, yeah, I think we're done here. Oh, we found Joffre and sank her. Our aircraft got her. No wonder she wasn't available at the peace conference. Where did the... Yeah, that's Jean Barr and her task force. Well, Jean Barr herself can be assigned to the home carrier fleet as a fast carrier escort. Well, we've got 2 subs, that's helpful, so they can be assigned to the submarine flotilla in the Med. And the destroyers and the cruisers can be assigned to bulk up Western Approaches Command escort forces. Hey, we did it! We crushed the French. We absolutely crushed the French. We had the decisive naval engagement, we managed to land, and that was that. The Hungarians have battleships. They managed to commission some, well, quite frankly, old ersatz monarchs. The designs are a little bit obsolete, but they have created something they call the Verbus Unitas class battleship as well. The Austrians have commissioned no such vessels. Romania has a force of destroyers and submarines, so that's not much threat. The Turks have 2 super dreadnoughts, in addition to, obviously, Yavuz's Sultan Selim. We basically need to drive forwards with as much power as we physically can. Not give them any chance to regroup or rest, and just push on until final victory is achieved. Which is something, honestly, very much within reach. And given the evacuation of forces from the Levant, I can probably also resume offensives in the Levant as well. Put pressure on that front to continually drive upwards into... the Mediterranean fleet is once again combat capable, and now those forces are going to be based in Alexandria and are going to be focused on shutting down the Aegean Sea, basically. Preventing any assets from breaking out of the Eastern Mediterranean and into open ocean. Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The Hungarians seem to have... I don't even need to use my atomic weapons. We just have achieved such sheer overmatch at this point that it's not even funny. Oh, there goes the autosave. Also, the game is starting to chug, so we really do need to wrap this up after this war, because I don't know if my computer can handle another session of this. So, yeah, we need to wrap this one up fairly sharpish. There we go. March into Rome. Ah, Centurions are doing... Well, no, these aren't Centurions. These are Universal Tank Mark IIs. There might still be some Centurions in the army. I'm not sure, actually. I know our infantry operates with Carnarvons. We still do have some mediums knocking about. Comets. And yeah, but no, all of our MBTs are Universal Tank Mark IIs. There we go. We are very close to... Honestly, the sheer power of these tanks is that I can just do this, and I can't actually be stopped. That's how much orc these vehicles have. Although I am going to send a very small force down into southern Italy to reinforce their comrade, while the offensives push on across northern Germany. Like I said, once I knew this would happen. Once I got ashore, I would be absolutely fine, and it would be basically total victory. But it was just the getting past the French fleet, getting ashore. Basically, it was just pinning them down into a decisive battle so they could be crushed. Once we got to that point, we were fine. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And we're still making progress. Oh, you really think that this little paltry force you put in my way is going to stop me? Haha, that is honestly the most adorable thing I have ever seen. They seriously think that their divisions can stand up to MBTs. No. No, actually, you cannot. It is nice that in the aftermath of the destruction of France, the Italians actually did manage to return to Europe. And are now fighting the Austrians for their homeland again. Tale as old as time, that one. Well, I look away from the Levant for 5 seconds and my generals and Montgomery has encircled a massive chunk of the EU army. It's typical. You leave Monty alone for 5 seconds and tell him to do something and he basically shatters the entire... front line. Of course, typical. Typical Montgomery. Leave the man alone for a second and he just goes absolutely insane. But that's the way it do be with Montgomery. There we go. Yeah, turns out when you try and fight MBTs with what are basically the equivalents of Panzer IVs, it doesn't actually go that well. And also, yes, with enough CAS you can, in fact, fight your way through anything. God. This is just horrific. There's nothing that they could do. China's also falling as well. It's just... the destruction of the European Union will continue until morale improves. Basically. We're just on the offensive, and we are just going. And there is no arguing that fact. Oh my god. This is just insane. I mean, this is actually insane. I'm just watching what you can do with a late war nation that's been unmolested by wars and constant strife. With a fully motorized and mechanized army, with proper air support. You just chew through Europe. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop you. France rolled up quicker than 1940. Honestly, Paul, no, they actually lasted longer because they had that whole period where I wasn't ashore. But when I got ashore, yeah, the French Navy just committed existence failure, yeah. Was that the entire defense front in this part of the European Union? I think it might have been, actually, yeah. That was the entire defense front, I think. Yeah, and we're now just pushing up through the Levant. The Turkish army is in shambles as they try to scrape together forces to actually not die. It is annoying that we do actually have some problems with the actual Italian campaign, given the forces we've committed. And the resistance is starting to stiffen as we reach certain areas. But overall, things are going relatively well. I'll not surrender momentum when I'm actually so close to a total victory. Especially in various other parts of the... like, even if I can knock out the Turks, I'll be doing very well. And that'll buy the Soviet Union the time it needs to bounce back and push west. In essence. Yep, there we go. Punch up into various areas. There's a little pocket of resistance there, but they just, well, come out of that fortress and die. Okay, so I think we'll halt the offensive in the south, but I aim to push past the Alps and link up with our remaining troops with a thrust by Alan Ritchie's our first army. Use the tanks, punch through, break the line basically completely. Of course, Montgomery's second army group is basically just, yeah, I mean, the eastern flank is just crumbling to dust. There's nothing they can do here. At the rate we're going, we will actually be able to wrap this up in an hour, I suspect. But victory has basically become inevitable at this point. There's also a desire to just ram things forward across the border. Seize as much territory as we can seize. Okay. Apparently I can't enter that territory because I'm not at war with the person who owns it, but I am at war with the person who owns it. It's a bit weird. I don't quite understand it. Also, the fact there are Chinese divisions here is honestly a little bit insane. But we can in fact go round to Copenhagen that way. Oh, no you don't. Oh, Montgomery's son got shot down. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so we can't enter that area of territory, even though we can fight for it. It's a bit weird, but I don't pretend to actually understand it, but okay. Well, we have at least entered Anatolia proper now. The war seems to actually be going fairly well. And of course one of them will go even further forward again. Then we route the bombers into Ankara proper as well to continue the air raids that have enabled our forces to make such rapid progress. Who's it owned by? Phalangist Slovenia. Oh, that would mean going to war with. And they won't accept military access, because of course they won't. That's it. Push forwards, jets. Ah! Cold War submarines! What a marvellous idea this is. Modern helicopters. Oh, there's a lot of research we can do. Ooh, nuclear torpedo. Nuclear torpedo. No, missile launching submarine first and foremost. Excellent. Still can't get the land cruiser, which is annoying. Well, that's something. We did at least achieve certain key objective successes here. With this northern offensive operation, it's a bit... The whole offensive is a little bit weird. But if we resume it now, we should be able to make headway again, I think. I hope. You never can tell, though. Actually, yeah, let me just get you boys out of there. No point losing men for no good reason. We did at least take Berlin, which is something. Oh my lord, the offensive into actually Anatolia has just knocked my socks off. We've done incredibly well there. What I'm actually going to do is, given that these Marines are much better suited to operating in low supply regions, and their amphibious vehicles will actually be of more use in Russia, I'm going to assign the actual Russian campaign to them, and order my normal forces to head towards the west. And our boys with the red berets on can handle that little theatre. Basically. I'd really like it if... the offensive wouldn't just bog down for no reason. We've got green bubbles everywhere, but they just won't break. That's annoying. Well, we can get more armor, which is good. Yeah, if I can get these extra armored divisions into Germany. Yeah, if we can get that extra armored corps into Germany proper, we can stand a real chance of actually, yeah, the Turks may not be a problem that soon. I think we might be about to capitulate them. And then, of course, we'll have the great meeting of the minds when we actually get into the Balkans proper. In essence. I mean, I admire the Turks' commitment to resistance, but it's not going to do them much good. There's very little they can actually do at this point. If they fight as aggressively as they are, all they're going to do is basically hand me, well, all of the keys, in essence. Ooh, new materials. Very nice. Ooh, a guided missile destroyer. Yes. Come on. There we go. There's our armor. Once the full armored army arrives on the front, we'll be able to really make headway. Problem is that we can't push into this weakened area of the front because apparently we can't enter Phalangist Slovenia because we need military access, but even though they don't own it, the game apparently says they do, which is weird. Hang on, give me some of these troops just to stabilize the North Jutland Peninsula quickly. Actually, enabling them to push out basically aided us more than it did them. I think the Swedes may have in fact rebelled, from what I'm seeing there. In essence. And where are my lads? Okay, they're there. That's good. On their way. I'm not so bothered with that offensive of the Turks pushing down into Anatolia, basically given the fact that, well, our lads are going to be there soon, so... There we go. And to be fair, the Turks are on the verge of capitulation anyway. Once Turkey capitulates, that's one major linchpin in the alliance basically toppled over. We've lost 1 million men in this conflict. The enemy alliance has lost 13 million men. There we go. And once this force arrives, it will immediately go into full offensive action and will drive the Turks all the way east into Siberia. Link up with the advancing Russians there. Well, our armor's arrived. Resume the offensive. Now that we have armor in the central area of the front, we'll shatter that area of the line and ideally completely and utterly obliterate the Austrians, the Czech, the Austrians, the Slovaks, the Hungarians. Batter our way through their front lines. I mean... it's just not even funny. Once we've shattered our way through their frontage, there's very little they can actually do. Ready. There we go, launch the offensives everywhere, thank God. And we got our boys coming in to push the Turks back in the east. It also spreads out what limited Turkish troops there are in the east, and it means that when the 20 divisions Marines arrive, they'll be able to shatter that eastern frontage and just break through. Yeah, our armour is making great gains. We've got a battle around Leipzig, and the enemy did recapture Berlin, but it's not that big of a deal. Our forces are seemingly doing very well indeed. The problem seems to be that the enemy does actually have seemed to have brought an awful lot of extra air power into parts of the theatre, which is proving a little bit tiresome. Come on. There we go. Yeah, once we get back on the offensive, once we're on the offensive, we're all right. We just got to get on the offensive and stick with it. Okay. Yes, sir. As long as they don't actually land in the port or attempt to take the port. There we go, and there we are. The Marines are ashore. Let's get them. Let's get them in position. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, let's do it. Let's get it sorted out. Let's get it going. Let's get the counter-attack underway. Let's get that counter-attack going. Let's get it underway. Come on, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it done. Oh, why has continental Europe bogged down so heavily? God, I wish I understood it. I do not understand it, but I wish I did. But continental Europe has bogged down so incredibly aggressively. Like, look at the gains we made. We shot forwards from the West German frontier all the way to the Alps, but now we just can't make gains for love nor money in Central Europe. God, this really is the bloody Cold War, isn't it? This basically is a Fulda Gap scenario. Good lord. The numbers of armoured vehicles we're chewing through is just insane. We need more trucks, more fighter aircraft, more of everything. Just to even attempt to keep pace. Oh, we have at least shut down... Oh, come on, get back in there. Well, we have at least shut down any new attempts to push us off the Danish peninsula, which is something. Now the enemy is launching counterattacks, but we can resist them. And of course, they do have to deal with the possible loss of one of their major members. If we can break through their siege Istanbul, we might be able to knock the Turks out of the war completely. There we go. Move forwards. It's all a bit annoying. You're basically watching... Oh, well, if you want the honest answer, you're basically watching the stalemate and knowing that you're gonna win eventually, but you just wish the breakthrough would come now and reopen the war back into one of maneuver. Like, you know you hold all the cards, but the war just will not reopen into one of maneuver, no matter how hard you push it. Actually, yeah, what I think I might do... Yeah, what I think I'm gonna do is let me bring where is the oh, what's he called? Oh, where's the gentleman with the big fat hat on? Well, excellent. A fusion bomb. What an excellent idea. A bomb that fuses. stuck here waiting to fight a war of movement, and one is not materializing itself. I do have a plan, however, to kind of break things wide open. We do have one front where if I commit an army group, I'm fairly certain that we can reacquire a war of movement. Basically. That's the whole point. If we can break out into Scandinavia and sweep down into Finland, we can remove one of the strongest players in the EU, and open another path for Imperial tanks to roll into Russia. But we need to move incredibly rapidly, because I don't know how much longer it'll be before the EU moves more forces into the region to try and counter. We've got to be quick. Luckily, at least our operations against Turkey seem to have gone incredibly successfully. And we're now looking at possibly crossing the Bosphorus into the Balkans in fairly short order. Problem comes when we actually have to deal with everything beyond that. Their offensives aren't really doing them much good. Okay, so you can actually go and deal with that then. Right. Okay, so now that our forces are in position, I'm going to force a breakout, and we're going to push, ideally, all the way to Leningrad. Stage a breakout, Operation Beta Force, from Copenhagen. Seize various key regions in, well, what was Lower Sweden. Stage that breakout, force our troops over various frontiers. Once we've broken out, that's it. We're basically going, and there's nothing they can do to stop us. Speaking of, yep, there's the breakout. That's it. We're through. There is nothing that can stop us now. I don't think the EU has any spare divisions that it can use to stop the Imperial Scandinavian offensive. And these are the best tank divisions and mobile divisions in the Imperial Army. Neil Ritchie's led this gang of chuckle MacGuffins since the wars with America. I have absolutely no doubt that they'll be able to march through Scandinavia in record time. Okay. Fine. There we go. Move around there. Well, now we're basically stuck in Istanbul, and we'll have to batter our way into there. Yeah, it seems like Brazil has so many divisions that they've seemingly committed as volunteers to this effort. But it won't be enough to stop us. Is there any opportunity for limited offensives in the central district? Not really. I mean, if I can concentrate enough, yeah, if I can concentrate armor there, break through at Chemnitz, and then encircle the EU troops trapped in Leipzig, it's a possibility. It's a bit of a risk, but if we can pull it off, we can actually achieve a breakthrough and possibly even take Dresden. It's a bit risky, but it should be doable. Our armoured divisions are the best in the world, after all. There we go, just seize all that area to ensure that supplies flow smoothly. As they do. Excellent. All very well. Yep, Operation Polar Glory, if you get that reference, good on you, is going exceptionally well. Although for some reason our supply situation is a little bit acute for reasons I don't fully understand. Why are our supplies not getting through? Oh, the railway. We're actually outrunning the railway network. They can't convert it and rid it of sort of sabotage quickly enough. So we are quite literally outrunning our supplies. That's how fast the offensive is actually going. We're completely outrunning our supplies. Actually, with the missile tech I have, can I get... improved guidance systems. Missile cruiser refit, radio guided anti-ship missile, naval radio guiding, close-in area defense, anti-submarine missiles, phased array radar, full missile fit, integrated combat system, radar jammer. Oh, no, I know, it's in engineering, isn't it? But I need flying bomb for that. I don't have it. Yeah, I really need that. Yeah. Any chance any of you eggheads can come up with something like that? That'd be grand. Yeah, the EU has had to respond. The offensive's going so well, though. I mean, it can't bog down now. It's going too well. Oh! Oh, bugger me, we got across. We actually did get across into the Balkans. Very nice. Well, we've pretty much swept the Eastern Med. Let's send our forces into yeah, send our forces into the Aegean. See if we can't clear that out. Oh, steady on. That's another autosave, isn't it? Typical. Absolutely. Oh, it can't be. It's 20th of June. Oh, that was Turkey going under. Yeah, Turkey just went under. That removes all of the Turkish manpower and material that was opposing our headlong rush into the oh my god, Turkey just went. Turkey just actually went. And that's basically cut the supply link between the West and China over land. I didn't think it would actually be the soft underbelly of Europe that would be the thing that would crush the EU, but apparently, yes, that is exactly what crushed it. Good lord, Turkey just toppled over like a staggering colossus. There we go. Ugh. Good lord, look at that. We're being held in Eridne, but we'll soon break out. Won't be long now. Yeah. So, we may actually be on the cusp of complete and total victory. Let me just crush these little exclaves quickly. And then we can turn our attention to the drive towards places like Sevastopol and other areas. Since the EU is basically trying desperately to sort out the problems that it just had inflicted upon it by the destruction of one of its major participating nations. Operation Polar Glory goes exceptionally well. The Brazilian exclave in Gothenburg has been obliterated, and I actually now think I'm ready to commence operations against the. Oh my God! Okay, yeah, the road to Vienna is basically open. In fact, in one province, the road to Vienna is actually open, and from there to Budapest. That's it. Yeah, the collapse of Turkey removed one of the major pillars holding the EU upright. And basically, their military effort, while it hasn't collapsed, has basically been rendered untenable. Okay, yep, the war in Europe has become a war of movement again. Punch through the Finnish army, we can retake Sicily. Yep, so we're back on a war of movement. We're through in the take Vienna. Take Bratislava. Watch as the entire EU basically crumbles in a massive pile on the ground. Yeah, that's just, it's over. It's completely over. It's never been more over than it has been right now. The war of movement has returned, and yeah, I think we might actually be able to end the conflict in fairly short order. Especially with China on the verge of keeling over sideways, and I don't think they're a major in the conflict. Hungarian Poland is now under siege, although Hungary itself will actually soon be under siege as well. Budapest will be occupied fairly sharpish. There is a small supply route to Vienna that I plan to actually widen, and various territories that that are occupied by various parts of the alliance will soon be rendered compliant states within the Okay, yep, so there go. Oh my sweet good gravy. That is, yeah, that's... Yep, that's... Yeah, that's the, there goes the EU's actual founding nation, that being Austria. The European president has fallen over sideways with a bit of pushing from Imperial troops. Ah. Timu is, oh, good lord. Oh, haggis. Logistics and manufacturing. Yep. Cunning plan? Not that cunning, Paul. Not that cunning. Well, we've basically just got to keep cracking on forwards, in essence. Bulgaria will probably be the next nation to fall. I need to basically put my marines in position to stop the enemy retaking the Caucasus, because that's denying them the oil that was helping to fuel their war effort, and without it their air forces... Yeah, their air forces are basically in a crippled state now. They can't really resist. At least not in the same way they used to. Yep, Bulgaria's gone. Which removes most of their armed forces from the board. In a way I find most appealing. Okay, so we can't even enter that territory because it's not ours, apparently, which is a bit weird, but okay. Return them to actually doing full normal combat operations. Oh! Oh, okay, the Italians are back once again, so we will now actually push them out of southern Italy, which is good. They're steadily reorganizing themselves and sorting out Turkey in the Far East, but not going to do them much good. If we topple Hungary, that should be enough to end the conflict, I'm fairly certain. Or at least the European part of the conflict. I mean, Bucharest has fallen, Romania is on its last legs, and if Romania falls, then the forces trapped in the Far East will be even more slightly screwed than they already are after the Hungarian collapse and all of the stuff they provided to the Alliance in terms of logistics. We know that the capital ships of the Turkish Navy are actually in Crete right now. But they won't come out and fight. Well, quite honestly, you can't really blame them for it. We have forces now on their way to various capitals. The EU is basically on the verge of total collapse. Well, I've been saying that for the past few minutes. It's just taking a while for that collapse to actually set in properly. The northern offensives are going very well. Greater Finland will soon be on the verge of its own collapse. The Romanian state, despite its vast bloated size, is also looking at the teetering edge. And they were probably wondering where it all went wrong. They joined this war at the behest of Turkey, and now everything that the European president has built is crumbling down around his ears. Karl von Habsburg's dream of a united, peaceful Europe has been shattered because of Turkish ambition. And in the far north, Imperial tanks are driving towards Finland. It's only a matter of time now until the Romanians capitulate and all of their troops leave the battle space, which will open the way for the capitulation of other European states. Speaking of, I think that probably is a European state toppling over. Yep. There goes Romania, toppling over with extreme prejudice. Serbia is next. Well, let's drive into... And Turkey capitulated again. After uncapitulating for the briefest of seconds. Serbia's capitulated. Soon Bosnia will capitulate. And various states that were under occupation are now liberated. I think Hungary is the last major European member of the alliance, apart from Finland, that has not toppled over. And they just need a bit more pushing to actually do it. And not to worry, the Imperial army is here to provide that little extra pushing. Imperial force that's come up through Anatolia is now actually going to meet the force that's been fighting its way across Central Europe. Which is amusing in and of itself. There we go. Once the, it's basically Budapest that's holding the Hungarians together. Bosnia's capitulated now. Come on, have Budapest topple over, please. If Budapest goes, that's basically all of the European parts of the Alliance, apart from Finland, just gone. And at that point, if it's just China alone, well, it's a foregone conclusion, basically. But Hungary will have to go before that happens. Come on, topple them over. Come on, do it. Come on. Well, there goes Budapest. Where's their capital now? Oh, Peck. Well, that'll be fairly easy to attack. It's only held by a bunch of Chinese troops. That will fall exceptionally quickly, I think. Well, there goes the Hungarians' second capital. Now the capital's over here. If you seize that, that shouldn't take too long. Won't be there's someone else keeled over. Oh, that was it. That was it. With the capitulation of Hungary, that was it. The various nations involved just keeled over. Yeah, we did it. That was... yeah, that was a little bit insane. Yeah, I thought we'd have to actually capitulate, Finland, but nope, Hungary going over, that was that. Doesn't seem like I can actually seize Bulgaria. Oh no, I can seize Bulgaria, it's just for some reason someone who wasn't really involved in the conflict to nearly the same extent thinks they have rights to certain key bits of territory, which they absolutely do not. I'm also not giving the Soviets the Caucasus. Not a cat in hell's chance. I don't trust them with it. It is somewhat amusing. I do like how these people seem to think that they can contest the Imperial Federation when I did the majority of the fighting and the dying during this conflict. I can outbid you all. Oh, will they stop? You are making me waste my money here. Really? Apparently, apparently the monastic commune of Tibet has the... Oh my god, really? Really? Oh my god, I just... Oh, politely. Really? Really? We want Iceland. Really? Why does Tibet have so much war score? I can't. I actually can't. That little island they actually won. Oh my god, I hate this. I hate the fact that... Oh my god. This is a weird post-war world. Oh my goodness. I didn't even do anything in China, to be perfectly honest with you. I couldn't really. Oh, this is going to be a weird world. This is going to be a really weird world. Okay, let's... Oh my lord. Oh. My god, look at that. Well, the Soviet Union is back. Tibet has cores all over the world. Poland-Lithuania is back after a prolonged absence. Yeah. And Russia has made a surprising comeback from what was basically death. But with that, I feel like that is a fairly natural end state, seeing as, to be perfectly honest with you, the game is starting to break down a bit. Certain things are not working as they should, and that was a nice large war for us to finish off on. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware, if we could continue this and the game wouldn't break on me, it would be a fairly short business to mop up the rest of the world. It would not take long. Pity we didn't get to fight the Japanese Navy. It would have been interesting to do. Would have enjoyed actually fighting the IJN. But hey. We control an empire of nearly a billion souls. We have 1,269 factories and 13,000 convoys. We operate 1,612 helicopters, 4,666 Amtraks, 4,338 pieces of anti-aircraft artillery, 2.59k in anti-tank guns, 1.87 armoured cars, 4,000 plus pieces of artillery, 246 super heavy howitzers, 351 super heavy self-propelled howitzers, 1,000 scout helicopters, 210,000 pieces of infantry equipment, most of which are proper select fire intermediate cartridge assault rifles, 9,024 pieces of mechanized equipment, 27,000 trucks, 400 armored support vehicles, 17,000 pieces of support equipment, 6,021 medium tanks, mostly our own design, but more and more captures seem to have entered our fleets as the wars have gone on. I've needed to dig into stockpiles of various other people to keep ourselves going. 960 heavy tanks. Nearly 6,600 modern tanks, and it seems like we did have to dip into our Centurion storage to actually keep ourselves going as the wars dragged on. And nearly 3,000 amphibious tanks. Oh, and last but not least, 3,329 Archer light tank destroyers. In terms of our navy, we have 57 heavy ships, split into 8 super heavy battleships, 38 battleships, and 11 battle cruisers. We have the 4 Jellicoe class, which were the last British battleships completed during the game. These vessels were the epitome, and they were guided missile battleships as well. I believe they carried 20-inch guns, 8 of them. Yeah, 8 20-inch guns, fully automatic, quick-firing AA weaponry, anti-ship missiles mounted centrally. They would have been incredibly effective had they had a chance to see action, but unfortunately, the game ended before any of them could actually see combat. Unless, of course, Conqueror actually managed to get some kills under her belt. No, she did! Oh my lord! Never mind, I stand corrected. One of the Jellicoe class, Conqueror, did see action and is responsible for for sinking, probably with her large anti-ship missiles, 3 French old dreadnoughts. We then had the incomparable class battle cruisers, armed with 6 20-inch guns and built to operate in the Pacific. Again, they had very quiet careers. Most of the naval fighting was around Europe, although they did see some action. KGVs, again, 6 of them, armed with 6 18-inch guns. The came with the 8th class were armed with 16-inch guns and were fast battle cruisers and were the first capital ships we built. The rest were mostly captures, and the Temeraires, which battered down the French fleet in the Channel. Submarines, we didn't really put that much attention into. There was some build-out of classes, but nothing really went anywhere. There was supposed to be, as you all know, a large re-equipment, but that didn't happen. In terms of cruisers, we have 16 of the Royalist class. These were the last generation pure gun cruisers of the Royal Navy, armed with 12 auto-loading 6-inch dual-purpose guns. The Southamptons were their missile cruiser compatriots, designed primarily around a pair of auto-loading 6-inch guns fore and aft and missile tubes centrally. The Graftons and the Cavendishes were the 9.2-inch supercruisers. Well, the Cavendish has 9.2-inch guns, the Graftons have 9 12-inch guns. And they served very well, leading scout groups. Various towns that we built, the Crown Colonies, the Newfoundlands, these light cruisers served very well. And most of our older ships do still survive into the present era, including C-class cruisers still serving today. We didn't actually get to build any supercarriers, but the 5 Glory class did good work in the Channel. The Implacables were all with the Pacific Fleet and saw no action. The Yorktowns, along with Wasp, served with the British Far Eastern Fleet in the South China Sea. Furious, Courageous, Glorious, and the Lexingtons served in the campaign that pacified Argentina and Chile, and have some kills to their name. And of course, Ranger, funnily enough, the most decorated carrier in the entire Imperial Navy, has a score of kills to her credit, and basically took on everybody in the Mediterranean. In terms of air power, We operate a mix of aircraft. Mostly Spitfires, mostly Meteors, but some of the older piston-engined aircraft have had to re-enter service to make up numbers as the long war dragged on. Our carriers are mostly unified, Wyverns having taken over. Again, we went through 3 generations of bombers. We didn't actually get any jet strategic bombers because we didn't have the jets for it. And our CAS is basically all Vampire close air support aircraft. And so I hope you've enjoyed this little playthrough. As for what comes next, I haven't actually really thought about that. But I'm sure I'll think of something and probably put it to a vote at some point in the middle of next week. Probably it will go out on the Discord and I'll link it through Twitter as well to the YouTube page where it's taking place. So if you follow me on Twitter or are a subscriber to the YouTube channel, you'll see what happens as it comes out. I hope you've all enjoyed. Who's the poor schmuck who stuck with .87th of an armoured car? Oh dear. But yes, so as I say, please do tune in to Brew Ships later, and tune in obviously for the various other things I have planned over the week. It's been a heck of a playthrough, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed playing it. And I've actually learned a great deal about Hoy from this playthrough, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. Bear in mind, what comes next may not actually be Hearts of Iron 4. I do have a few other games I have in mind for things I might actually play. I just haven't decided which it will be yet. So, take care, everybody. I hope you had a fantastic time.